Hello everybody, welcome back to Blues Focus TV for another full-time match reaction video. A really frustrating result for Blues today, really disappointed, simply wasn't good enough. Came into this game with pretty high hopes, obviously a good point midweek against Watford in our 1-1 draw. Not only a good point, but a good performance from Blues. And Wigan, to be fair to them, has started the season pretty well. Drew all three of their first games, so we're going into this one unbeaten and obviously won League One last season. So today wasn't going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination for Blues, but obviously we were given a big lifeline in the first 10 minutes with Joe Bennett getting sent off for Wigan. And I think when that red card came in, we knew how Wigan were going to play. They were going to sit back, they were going to defend, they were going to time waste, which is exactly what they did. But they did it very effectively. First 20 minutes, we looked strong. We were keeping the ball well, we were creating chances, we looked good. And I thought that would set the tone for the game really well. But unfortunately, we just weren't able to do a whole lot with the ball. We had loads of possession today. It's the most I've ever seen Blues keep the ball, to be honest. We were passing it round pretty well. We were getting the ball wide pretty well. The problem was when it came to the final third and we were able to do nothing. We had a few chances, to be fair. Bakuna had one just wide of the post in the first half. Hogan had a decent effort in the first half as well, but it was a bit of a stretch for him to get to the ball. Had a few chances towards the end. Job had a really good chance with about 5 minutes to go, but just couldn't generate enough power on the shot. So we had a few chances here and there, but with the amount we had the ball and the amount of times we were getting that ball into the box, we did not create enough opportunities. I think our strikers and our front men have been our downfall for quite a while now. I think since the Gary Monk era with Che Adams and Juki up front that season. I think Juki got like 11 goals, 10 assists or something, and Adams got like 25 or something like that. Since then, I think we've really struggled going forward. Defensively, we've always been pretty strong. We're able to keep a good number of clean sheets. When we do lose games or draw games, they never seem to be more than 1 or 2 goals. So defensively, for a good number of years now, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's been periods where we've been shocking defensively. But certainly this season, we've been pretty sound defensively. We've kept scorelines low. I think, personally, it's our attack that lets us down time and time again. Granted, the attackers sometimes don't get the service they need to score goals, but that's something we've just struggled with for so many years now, and it's becoming more and more frustrating to watch. Williams and Poeta, first half again, I thought Williams had a bit of a shaky second half. That's probably why he was bought off fairly early, but certainly first half, again, he was brilliant. He knows when to cross early, he knows when to take on his man, he knows when to go back and reset the play. Williams looks like a very good player, and he was getting plenty of crosses into the box today. And Poeta chipped in with a few as well, but we just weren't able to do anything. So yeah, really frustrating going forward today. Defensively, again, Sanderson, Colin, Trusty, that back three. I'm happy with that back three. I think Roberts had a bit of a shaky start to the season, and that's why he's been dropped. And rightly so. But our back three today were decent. I think Wigan pretty much had their one chance, and their one chance obviously led to a goal. So really disappointing there. I think what made the game so frustrating to watch was Wigan's time wasting. They were time wasting as soon as that red card happened. Within 15 minutes, their goalkeeper went down, not quite sure what for. That took 2-3 minutes off the clock. Constantly, when the ball was going out for throw-ins and goal kicks, they were wasting time. It was ridiculous, and the referee did nothing about it. Had a few words here and there, but wasn't dishing out the cards. And if you're not dishing out the cards, if you're not punishing the players enough for time wasting, they're going to keep doing it. I don't like to think of excuses. It's not an excuse for today's performance. We didn't deserve to win the game. We had the majority of the ball, but we didn't create enough chances. Therefore, we didn't deserve to win. But that time-wasting factor from Wigan certainly didn't help. Potentially something the FA or the EFL need to have a look at, rule-wise. Whether there's a timer, you've got 10 seconds to take a throw-in. I don't know. I don't care. But I think this time-wasting thing needs to be sorted out. There was a game a few weeks ago now where the statistic was like the ball was out of play for 40 minutes or something, which is just ridiculous. So this time-wasting thing, no excuse for today's result or performance, but it certainly needs to be looked at. But despite all the negatives, I don't want to focus on them too much. It can be difficult too. I think overall our start to the season hasn't been, after today's result, isn't looking too good. We're 18th in the league, 5 points from 5 games. That is relegation form, that is. So it's a shame since Cardiff, really. We obviously had the good midweek result against Watford and the good performance, but it just hasn't really kicked off in the way we were hoping for, I don't think, which is a real shame. But trying to focus on a few more of the positives. Like I said earlier, I thought Williams was brilliant. Eustace clearly wants us to get the ball wide to the wing-backs. He clearly wants them to play very high up the pitch, which is something Karanka and Bowyer didn't seem to do. Even out of possession, Williams and Poeta are always applying pressure from the wing-back position, which I think is really good, because a few times we were able to nick the ball in those high positions today. Williams did it a few times and we're able to create chances from that. I think it's always good to have your wing-backs play high, because at the end of the day, you've got 3 more defenders there to cover for you. And that's the luxury of the 5 at the back, isn't it? We're able to commit a few more men forward, and if it goes wrong, we've got those players at the back to cover. So it's good to see us using those wing-backs really well, not just defensively, but in the final third as well. So Williams is a big positive for me. I think the defence is despite conceding today, I think a big positive for me. I think John Ruddy again looks solid. Really happy with him, as I said in a video a few weeks ago. Wasn't sure how he'd do after his mistake in pre-season, but as I said, he's an experienced keeper and he's proven to be really solid, decent distribution as well. So defensively, I'm happy. It's the men up front which is a bit of a concern for me. I just can't see where our goals are going to come from this season. I think the majority are going to come from counter-attacks and stuff like that. I just can't see us creating too many chances for ourselves. Counter-attacks and set pieces, I believe, is where most of our goals will come from this season. And hopefully if we get enough of those, we can survive or at least push towards mid-table. Thought Jordan James looked good in midfield today. Was one of the few players offering for the ball when it was out wide and the cross wasn't on. I think Bakuna, as good as he is, and again, he had a decent performance today. He doesn't always offer that. He doesn't always offer that support when the ball's out wide, whereas Jordan James, he was really supporting Williams today on the right-hand side. So I thought he had a decent performance, thought he looked good. And it's good to see Blues, as I said in the last video, giving these youngsters opportunities. Jordan James, George Hall, obviously, in attacking midfield today. Williams on the right. We've got a good academy set up for the future. These players could do a lot for Blues and then they could go on and be worth a couple of million quid. So it's good to see us putting a lot of faith in the youngsters. I think, I might be wrong, but I think we have the oldest team in the league. But with that, we do have a few youngsters sprinkled in here and there. So it's really good to see Eustace putting his trust in them. So yeah, disappointing overall today, not just the result, but the performance as well. First 20 minutes we were sound, and then towards the last 70 minutes really, we were pretty poor. I think when you're not able to score against a team with 10 men for 80 minutes, not much more needs to be said really, does it? But Rotherham next weekend, away from home, fingers crossed we can get a result from that. They've had a bit of a hit and miss start to the season. But yeah, we'll have to see how we do. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep right on.